W, do for win. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Hello and welcome to episode 4 of Anxious but Thriving. So, I'm not gonna lie, I got like midway the first story and I had to restart the episode because I am slurring my words. I don't know if I have a tongue tie, I don't know what is going on, but it was infuriating me. So, we're gonna try this again. I did get some feedback today before leaving work that my sound sometimes fluctuates. So it's either sometimes way too high or sometimes low. So I do apologize. I am holding it in my hands. So that can affect the sound if I'm moving my head a lot or I'm moving my hands a lot. I am distancing myself from the mic. So in future episodes, I'll try to get like a mic stand or something so I don't have to touch the mic and I'll just kind of be like in front of it, But that's in due time. In due time. We are officially done with my story of my journey. I mean, I did leave a lot of things out for good reason. I felt like some of the things that I've dealt with in my story were maybe not like my story to tell. Like they involved other people, so I felt like I needed to leave it out. I also didn't want anybody to feel like I was bashing them. So there were things that happened that I decided just to leave out, were very unnecessary. And yeah, so if you know me personally and you know that I've left things out, there's exactly a reason why. I just felt like a lot of things were not necessary to say. And yeah, so also, before we jump right into this, I did get a couple of questions asking me if I was going to have on guests. Actually, before I even uploaded the first episode, just announcing it on Instagram, a couple people DM me asking if I would have guests on eventually, and the answer is yes. Obviously, my setup with a guest would be different. I wouldn't have you sitting on my bed with me. No disrespect, but this is quite literally my safe space, and I just don't feel safe doing so. So I would definitely have a whole nother setup. And keep in mind that when I do have guests on, these are not going to be just stories regarding anxiety or panic attacks or depression. Like, I want on people with hard hitting stories. It can be about friendship, it can be about relationship, it can be about addiction. Like, I just want people to hear other people's stories because anybody could relate to anything. I feel like every story is worth being told and worth listening to because you never know what you can learn from it. So I think by now I should have maybe posted something regarding guests. So if you are interested in being a guest, feel free to DM me. I do not bite at all. So please feel free to reach out to me, DM me. And I always reply to my DMs on Anxious But Thriving. My personal Instagram, absolutely not. But my Anxious But Thriving, I always reply to my DMs. I try to like every single comment. I'm very active on Anxious But Thriving. I cannot say the same for my personal Instagram. I like to distance myself from that social media, but as far as Anxious But Thriving, very, very active. Today's episode, we're going to jump right into it, babes. I know last time I told you guys that we were going to do interviews, but I decided to hold off on those until more people are tuned in. Maybe we'll get some more questions and we'll have questions to ask the people that I am interviewing. So let's just jump right into this. Today we're going to be reading some Reddit stories. We'll be reading the comments, seeing what other people have to say, and then I'll give my opinion. And yeah, if you don't know what Reddit is, it's pretty much like, I don't know. You can pretty much find anything on Reddit. If you don't know what Reddit is, you can find anything on Reddit. There's a forum for everything. For anxiety, panic attacks, there's a forum for people who like feet. There's a forum for literally anything. You can find anything there. So I got most of these from Am I the Asshole? And with these, we are pretty much going to be deciding if this person or the person they're talking to about in the story is an asshole. These are going to be stories regarding anxiety. Going forward, we'll play around with each and every theme. I'll change it from anxiety to self-discovery or relationships, friendships. We'll just bounce back and forth from different topics. Unless I have a guest on, then the We'll hear their story, and we'll still read other people's stories that relate in some type of way. So let's just jump right into it. The first story that I'm reading is from the forum or thread. I don't actually know what it is. I think it's called forum, but Am I the Asshole? And it's titled, Am I the Asshole for Getting Fed Up with My Friend's Crippling Anxiety? I have a friend, A. A has anxiety. That's fine with me. I understand that it's something that she can help and it impacts her daily life. However, A has done seemingly nothing to manage her anxiety on her own. Granted, I don't know what she does in her personal time, but if she's working on it, it's not showing in her interactions with me. It wasn't that bad at first. I didn't mind it and I was okay with altering some of our interactions or going out of my way to make sure that she felt comfortable and everything. But it's just gotten worse. We are in class together and A sends me pictures of every single assignment to make sure it looks okay because she has anxiety over sending it in. She won't order her own food at a restaurant because she has anxiety over talking to the cashier. I'm laughing for my own reasons. I'm not laughing at the situation. She won't ask for help in a store or for extra ketchup or whatever. Every anxiety meme applies to her. She dips last minute for plans every time unless it's something that she has done at least 3 times before. She dipped last minute from something I needed her to go to, and she said she would 3 times because it just gave her too much anxiety. I have no problem with having to pass on something because of that. But telling me 5 minutes before the event, this was after she spent 45 minutes grilling me on every single detail of where to go, what to wear, what to bring, what time to get there, what she needed to know, etc., etc. When it was just a simple thing. A makes me meet her outside of our club building every meeting because she is too anxious to walk in herself. Even if I am in the middle of helping with something, she refuses to come in herself. She won't do anything for herself. She needs help or approval for everything, or else she will either not do it at all or cry and blame it on her anxiety. I know that I am being harsh, but I just didn't sign up to be her mom when I became her friend, and it is frustrating me very much. I know that she can't help it, but maybe she should try getting some professional help. I'm not trained to manage another person's anxiety. Valid. I talked to my brother about it and he agrees with me. But a mutual friend says I'm being too harsh. Oh my God, I asked my brother about it and he agrees with me. But a mutual friend says I am being too harsh on A as she can't help it. What do y'all think? Okay, before I read the comments, I'm just gonna say what I think. I don't want the comments to alter, my opinion. So, my opinion. The question was, am I the asshole? No. Is your friend the asshole? No. I don't know. So coming from somebody who has anxiety, she is 100% being very, 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 very dependent on her friend. Some of these things she needs to work through herself. You cannot have somebody holding your hand. This person may not be around for too long. You need to start getting comfortable doing these things yourself. And let me just add, the reason I was laughing reading that she can't order her own food is because I was like that at some point. I would not like to order my own food. Like, I would tell the person I was with what I want and they would order it for me. I mean, sometimes I do that if like we're somewhere where they only speak Spanish. Like, I speak very minimal Spanish. Like, I 100% could tell you what I want, but it's more like I don't want to sound dumb. So that is a fear. What it's giving me is that she has social anxiety more than anything. This is 100% giving me social anxiety, which is something that I did deal with a little bit. Like I said, as far as not being able to order my own food, or sometimes, yes, not being able to walk into a place that I've never been before, not doing things that I've never did before, being around people I've never been around before. It is a lot, but it is something that you need to push yourself to do, and you should not depend on somebody to hold your hand through the process. That's just not how it works. You're never going to get through it ever. And granted, I did say I'm a very social person, but that is not to say that I don't still struggle. Sometimes if I am around new people, we're having a conversation, there are things that I want to add to the conversation, but I'll be so stuck in my head thinking like, wow, am I gonna sound dumb? So in my opinion, there are no assholes in this case. I Like I said, I don't think the friend should depend on her friend to like hold her hand through her anxiety. She can help her anxiety at the end of the day, but like that is also not 100% true. If you really, really wanted to, you could catch a grip on it a little bit and get yourself comfortable. Maybe you need to listen to music when you walk into a new place so that you're not concentrated. For me, I would go out and take my glasses off because if I can't see, you can't see me. That's how I would think. So that would help me with anxiety when I was going out to a new place. Or I didn't really like going out and dancing and stuff, so I would just take off my glasses and it was like I was like not there. I can't see anybody, they can't see me, right? And I can't see who can see me, so I'm not in my head about it. I don't think there's any assholes here. Again, I do feel like if you can be there for your friend, you should be, but like in this sense, this is like a lot. This is a lot. This is a lot, and I don't think you are responsible for, you're not, first of all, let me just say this, you are not responsible for anybody's triggers. You're not responsible to help anybody in any way, shape, or form. Is it nice? Yes. Does it make you a great friend? Yes. Is it your responsibility? No, not your responsibility. So let's see what the comments say because I'm really actually interested. Not the asshole. Having anxiety is difficult, but she seems totally okay with this unfair relationship. You are doing the emotional labor of managing her anxiety for her, but she can't seem to even try to be a support system for you when you need it. She has made a habit out of flaking and having other. Oh my God. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Let me add on. I would do the same. Like I said, I would flake on people last minute. A couple minutes go by. I'm like, I'm not feeling well. Knowing I'm perfectly fine, but I'm just stuck in my head about what outfit I'm going to wear. Who's going to be there? What conversations am I going to have? Um, these are things people with anxiety run through in their head when they have plans. So, last minute, if it wasn't making sense to me, if I was gonna see something I didn't want to see, someone I didn't want to see, if I wasn't sure how a conversation would go, I'm not gonna go. So I 100% used to be like that, but again, this is something you need to work through on your like you need to work through this by yourself. If you have somebody with you that has the patience and has the time, love that, but you should not expect anybody to be holding your hand through this. Let's continue. She has made a habit out of flaking and having others do everything for her. Her mental health is not your responsibility. T. And you've been more than patient. In the long run, it can be worse for her anxiety for you to continue this level of support because she needs to know that her friends and family can't manage her anxiety for her and that it's time for her to learn how to do it herself. If she can't make those steps, you have no use for her as a friend. Period. Because she's just baggage. She's just somebody you're dragging along. You're taking care of her. She might as well be your child. But is it important that you sit down and spell this all out for her? Leaving her hanging she will not learn anything. And it will just worsen her anxiety. But be loving but firm that you are no longer going to enable her, though you will help her as she starts to challenge her anxiety. The OP did reply to this comment and they said, thanks. I agree that I need to talk to her about it. I'm just not sure how to go about it. I don't want to make her feel bad about herself or anything, but it's just sort of hard to tell someone that I don't want to be friends with them for something they can't help. Oh, T, she wants to stop being friends. I didn't know that part, babe. Somebody commented, why would you stop being friends with her? I get it. I had this. It made me awful to be around in some cases. Ask her to seek help. Mention that you are not a professional and you can even say you want her to get help. Versus you just enabling it when you can't be there for at all times. Good point. I do like her, or else I wouldn't be her friends in the first place. So I guess she way we will have. Let's continue though. Yep, exactly agree. Somebody else commented, nah, it's not her fault she has anxiety, and it's not your responsibility to take care of her. T T T T T. You can only help someone as far as they want to be helped. You can't be responsible for a friend's mental health, especially when your friend isn't doing anything about it and is also taking a toll on yours. So, at the end of the day, this was voted no assholes here because her having anxiety is not her fault, but it is also not your responsibility at all. That is something you like with anxiety, that is something you need to work on. Nobody else can help you work on that. Them doing these little things to comfort you is just enabling. So just always make sure you are working through it. And if you need the comfort sometimes, that's great if you can get it. But you should not expect or depend on everybody else making you uncomfortable. Your anxiety is not their problem. And that's just me being completely honest here. Ooh. Okay. The next post is from Am I the Asshole? And it is titled, Am I the Asshole for telling my mom I don't care about her anxiety? She can't invite her friends to our wedding. I'm not gonna lie, based off the title. Wait, friends? Oh, friends is a lot. Like, you need one little person with you. I think that's okay. A little plus one. Friends, though? I mean, it is her mom. Let's just see. I'm being a little judgmental. We haven't even got there yet. I'm currently planning a wedding with my fiance, and it is about 80% her family and friends, and then 20% my friends. I literally have no family, so my mom isn't going to know anyone. This wasn't supposed to be an issue, but about 9 months ago, we got into a fight with my mother's husband, and he went ballistic. He called me a bunch of names, called my fiance a stupid little girl, banned us from his house, and refused to continue paying for my education, though he had told me since I was a kid that I didn't have to worry about college. Needless to say, he wasn't invited. My mom said that she wasn't going to get involved in the fight, and while she believes he is in the right, she would not be cutting contact. Oh, okay, cutting contact with him. Sorry, that was confusing. And while she believes he's in the right, she would not be cutting contact with it or anything. The issue is, she now thinks she should get a +1 to our wedding as she won't have anyone to talk to. Normally, we would be okay with that, but as her friends are the mean girl type, and my fiance has told me she will feel judged, my mom said her friends would never behave badly at her wedding. But even she admitted they do think they're better than everyone. I said it was going to be left up to my fiance, who feels she will be stressed knowing they look down on her. My mom began crying and talking about how stressed she was going to be. I know most people would just find someone to talk to, but my mom does not talk to people like that. She just won't. Honestly, sometimes getting her to talk to me is an issue, especially without my stepdad around, as she is automatically in a bad mood without him. I said none of this is our problem. I don't even care at this point, and she can't bring anyone. I feel kind of bad because now she might not be coming, and apparently she was having bad anxiety when she got home. Opinions. That was the end of the thread. Let me give my opinion. This guy's an asshole. This guy is an asshole. First of all, if the bride and groom can afford it, I'm sure most weddings you get +1s, right? And like, if you didn't have this issue with your stepfather and he wasn't, not invited, she would have had a +1 and it would have been your stepfather, right? I don't get it. The wife's side is going to be like 80%, like more than half, way more than half of the wedding party is your wife's side. And your mom can't bring one person to make her feel comfortable because your wife is going to feel judged by that one person. But your mom isn't going to feel lonely with the whole wedding party being your wife's. I feel like this is insane, right? In most weddings, you do get a plus one. Like, I'm sure if him and his stepfather didn't get in an argument, he would have been invited. Therefore, his mom would have had a plus one. Therefore, she should still have a plus one. Like, I don't think this makes any sense to me. I think that they're just being assholes. Your wife is gonna be feel judged by one person. This is somebody come from with anxiety. Your wife is gonna feel judged by one person out of the entire wedding. That's all her friends. She's gonna feel judged by one person that isn't like this isn't. This is not clicking to me. This is not clicking to me. I need to read the comments. So we're gonna read the comments. Not a huge surprise that the guests are 80% your fiance's and 20% yours. It doesn't sound like you make much effort at relationships. Your mom is okay with ditching her husband for this, yet she doesn't even have one friend your fiance finds acceptable. Both you and your fiance get to share this asshole vote. Can you hear it? Clock it. Cause what? Um. Yes, this is exactly what I said. This is exactly what I said. I also thought the same. Like 80% of her side, the fiance likes, but the bride can't be happy with one person. Like, hold on, guys, because there is more context here, right? Somebody commented, I need more info. What was the fight about? I think that plays a lot into this scenario. I would say, though, expecting your mother to attend an event where she will know no one and denying her a friend is kind of petty, especially since you know she has anxiety and will struggle to engage. Seems like you want her to be uncomfortable at your wedding. OP replied, we asked my mom and her husband to start speaking in English when my fiance is around as she felt excluded. I completely understand the ask, but I could also see how it could be insulting to ask someone not to speak in their native tongue in their own home. Okay, I have an opinion on this. In this case, they are Arabic. The language they're speaking is Arabic. Right? Okay, so like I said, I only speak a very limited amount of Spanish. So I've only dated Spanish men, and majority of the time, their parents literally probably only speak English. So I mean, only speak Spanish, and I feel like as a girlfriend and also as a mom or parent, you should try to make whoever you're around feel included. If you are going to marry into a family, I feel like you should try to learn a little bit of their language. Because you can't expect them to not speak their native language, especially in their own home or around their family, just because you only speak English. I feel like you should try a little bit, but I do completely understand feeling excluded, feeling left out. Um so damn, I don't know. Now this is like giving me like a different opinion now. Yes, this is exactly what I was saying. Somebody said um so a little bit more context, the wife has also or fiance has also mentioned that she has no plans in learning Arabic. She does not want to learn Arabic. So there are comments here. Somebody commented, but there's a racial overtone I think you're missing, especially when the person is trying to join my family and their language is Arabic. If the person has made it clear that they're never planning to learn Arabic, then why should I be prohibited in communicating with my husband in my native tongue? Not every conversation has to involve her. Agreed. You should not expect somebody to speak English around you all the fucking time. Especially if that's not like their first language, their native language. You should not, especially when you made it very clear you don't plan on learning it. Like, you can't expect somebody to change their whole life because you decided to be lazy and not want to learn a language. But again, she made it clear she has no interest in learning their language, so they're being punished for her laziness. If she were just a guest, I'd agree with you, but she's going to be a member of their family. If she can't even be bothered to learn a few words, it just shows a lack of respect and a hint of this is America and we speak English here. Can you hear it? Clock it. Exactly. Learn some words, phrases, and the issue of having nasty things said about you are now moot. Problem solved. And if they do talk about her, it will be totally out of earshot and of her anyway. And who the hell cares? People with anxiety care. I'll tell you that right now. So I think the conclusion to this post was they are the asshole. So with that being said, they're the asshole, and I feel so bad as the mom has to deal with anxiety because it's gonna make me want to cry. Because imagine like wanting to go see your son get married and like you're not gonna like be comfortable enough to go do that. Your husband's not invited. Yeah, no, I feel very bad, very very bad. This would give me anxiety to think of that. I would have to walk into a wedding where I know absolutely no one. My son's wife, soon to be wife, is an asshole. Third post is from Am I the Asshole again? Titled, Am I the asshole for publicly throwing my sister-in-law and mother-in-law out of my baby shower while ignoring the fact that my sister-in-law was having a panic attack? TTT. Hey guys, my grammar isn't great and I'm on my mobile, so apologies. Well, I, 33 female, have been waiting 7 years for a baby. I've had 6 heartbreaking miscarriages and a lot of failed IVF. So when I found out I was pregnant this time around, I didn't celebrate until I was 8 months pregnant, for obvious reasons. Well, me and my husband said we'd hold a baby shower with a gender reveal as a party game, but the only rule was neither of us would pop the balloons. Yes, twins. Oh my god, that's so exciting. Till 8 p.m. If this isn't obvious, we held 2 different parties, one for each of our family. Gender mixed. But we would meet at my party at 10 p.m. Well, you could imagine my shock when a lot of his side, especially his mother and sister, ended up at my baby shower at first. I felt extremely happy and proud that they came. Everything was going good. Even his sister, who usually makes herself the main character, was having a good time. That was until it came to find out the gender. Look, I know people will have comments about gender reveals being cheesy, but since we have everything bought for our babies, even the names picked out, realistically, it was only a game that if you guessed right, you'd win a bottle of wine or bath set. We don't care about the gender. We both just wanted the whole we don't care about the gender. We both just wanted the whole pregnancy experience. Well, at 8 p.m., my sister-in-law comes in with the balloons saying my hubby put mother-in-law in charge of them. Well, okay, let's pop those balloons already and move on to the name game. The confetti came out rainbow. My sister-in-law took center stage and basically went on a long rant how we were trash for holding a gender reveal. Mid-speech, I told her to get out. And when mother-in-law told me she was right, and it was her brother's, my husband's home, so she had the right to be there, I told her to get out too, since she probably knew she was going to do this. I can give examples in the comments. My husband's grandmother started ringing him about the situation, and his cousins and aunts basically started telling them to leave. My sister-in-law was mid-panic attack, and my mother-in-law was crying when they left the house. My husband arrived about 10 minutes later, and fair play to his grandmother, aunts, cousins. They told him the situation and stuck up for me. So my husband just said, fuck them. We were having 2 beautiful daughters, but I'd rather change one of their names to my granny's instead of my mother's. His dad and a few members of his family left after that because they said I was a monster for what I did to sister-in-law, when I know her issues, and my husband took it too far with changing the baby's names. Girl names were going to be Kayla and Rose. Now they're Belle and Rose, for anyone wondering. Somebody said, first comment is not the asshole. I have my own opinion about gender reveals, but the time to display that opinion is not by hijacking someone's party and giving a speech. What in the world? I'm curious, how old is sister-in-law? Before I even continue, I'm going to give my opinion and say that this person is not the asshole. Her having anxiety would not have been a good enough reason for me to let her stay, because she didn't have anxiety when she got up on that stage and started calling people out or calling me out for having a gender reveal. She wasn't anxious then, so I don't care how anxious she is now. And like, this is somebody carrying kids. Like, this is like Like, these kids are gonna be here in a month. Like, she's 8 months. They're gonna be here in a month. Why are you being an asshole? So yeah, I don't think this person is an asshole. I don't care if you're having anxiety. Don't disrespect anybody's celebration that way. This is giving like she has to be like 16 years old, right? But remember, we just read the first comment. They asked how old is sister-in-law, right? Sister-in-law is 25. Too old to be acting like this, in my opinion. Anxiety or not, you gotta go immediately. Immediately. And if you want me to call the ambulance, you need somebody to help you with that anxiety, I will. But you're not staying here. I don't care. What? Absolutely not. I'm 31 female, 2 weeks post breakup. And I have been having some thoughts lately after a recent EMDR session. I had anxiety throughout the majority of the most recent relationship of 8.5 months. I never really identified fully why during, but I always thought of it was just me having difficult being in a relationship after a toxic 4 year relationship ended 4 months prior. For context, I've never really had much relationship anxiety, minus the first couple of months of a relationship. Our relationship was super intense, really fast. 8 months, 8.5 months of relatively pure bliss and happiness. Looking back, we moved way too fast. But he, 32 male, told me every day how much he loved me, saw me as a mother to his future children, was making plans with me, etc. Blah blah blah. Despite this, something in my brain was nagging me. I sometimes talked about the anxiety and he was supportive of it. I had really convinced myself the anxiety was me, that I needed to work through the issues inside my head. When he pulled away in the last couple of weeks because he was going through a tough time with work, firefighting, my anxiety skyrocketed, and I saw a different side of him. Distant, not wanting to talk about things, getting mad at times that I was having trouble. I felt like I had to support him, but he didn't want to support me. We never really had problems before, but one night I finally broke down and told him how I was feeling, and I could not stop crying. He was trying to stop the conversation, but both of us had held back a lot. He came to me the next day, angry at me for essentially being so upset, and said that he felt like I didn't trust him, even though I had never given him any indication before of my anxiety slash how I was feeling. He stonewalled me for 3 days and then came over and told me he lost all love and feelings for me after one fight. The only real fight we had in our entire relationship. I have felt the last couple weeks, while the situation was incredibly bizarre, that something was wrong with me. Like my anxiety was the reason this was caused. But I was making but I was talking with a friend about this yesterday, and she said that maybe it wasn't about you. Maybe you felt the anxiety because it was the wrong relationship. It kind of hit me like a ton of bricks, but I'm still not able to identify if maybe that was the case or why exactly. Okay, so my opinion. I don't know the science behind it, but I do think that you can deal with anxiety when you're around the wrong people. I don't know if it's the energy, but your body like tells you things. I was dealing with somebody that I shouldn't have been dealing with anymore, like last year, and I started struggling with a little bit of anxiety in the morning, like being sick in the morning again, and I would have to do yoga, and it would start bothering me because I'm like, I don't know if I'm just going through the anxiety because this is something I'm used to going through with them, or if my body's trying to tell me something. And the craziest thing is once I stopped messing with this person, I the anxiety stopped. So yeah, I do think that your body does tell you things. I feel like even sometimes subconsciously, you know, this relationship is not right for you and you're going along with it, but like your brain is highly telling you, like, what are you doing? Get out. So, oh my God, my camera's about to die. I wanted to read one more. Okay, let's read the comments before my camera dies. Somebody first comment, yes, oh my god, I was married for 10 years and I had horrible anxiety, intrusive thoughts about not loving him. Went through months of therapy and meds thinking that I was just an anxious person. We got divorced 6 months ago and I literally have zero anxiety. None. It was my body literally telling me that this isn't right. Feel confident in your body's signal even if you don't feel like it logically makes sense. It does. It does. It does. It does. It does. I think your body definitely tells you when you are around the correct people, when you're not around the correct people, I should say. Your body definitely gives you a warning when you should stay away from people, when people are throwing you off, throwing your energy off. Pay attention to that gut feeling. I'm going to end the episode here. But don't forget to DM me if you feel like you want to be a guest. If you feel like you have a story that you want to share, that you feel like you can help people with, people can relate to. We're gonna end the episode off here. My camera is dying, so I hope you guys have a beautiful day, a beautiful week, a beautiful weekend whenever you guys are watching this. I was told I needed an outro, so we're gonna give this a try. I feel so weird saying this because I feel like it's your outro, because you said it so many times today. So shout out to you. You know who you are. Just because you are anxious does not mean you are not thriving. And just because you are thriving does not mean you're not anxious. So, yeah, see you guys next week.